Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. So this video we are about to react to by Andy Hoops has been heavily requested by a lot of you people, titled How the Next Kawhi Leonard Failed in the NBA. And this is about the man, Stanley Johnson, guys. So people really get confused about why I dislike Stanley Johnson so much. It's because we drafted him with the mindset that he was supposed to be, as the title states, the next Kawhi Leonard, or just like... There was so much potential with Stanley Johnson, and there were so many times where you would see something and be like, damn, like he's gonna be it, man, and then just all hell breaks loose, and it just never really amounted to anything, right? So people think that I'm a little too tough on him at times. Let me explain really the moment. I mean, I have the exact moment labeled down, date and everything, man, about when I did not like Stanley Johnson, okay? So it was the fourth game of the season against the Philadelphia 76ers with a rookie Ben Simmons. Now it was after, because, well, he was drafted the season before but didn't play because of the foot injury. So yeah, fourth game of the season, man. Stanley Johnson was going into, I believe, his third season in the NBA. At that point, you know, first, second season, you kind of give them some slack and stuff. So it's like, all right, it's time to do something. You guys can see right here, based off the score, Stanley Johnson, 0 for 1 shooting. And then a double nothing, man, with 4 personal fouls. He was... I believe that, I mean, he says he only played 18 minutes, so I know he didn't really play a ton this game. By the way, Luke Kennard, 6 points, 3 rebounds, man. I think he was doing that as a rookie, right? But Stanley Johnson, at times during this game, was playing defense against Ben Simmons. Like, that's how it started off. And then Ben Simmons, rookie season, 21 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, man. Triple-double on Stanley Johnson, who's supposed to be this defensive specialist. We already had to deal with the bitch ass always saying how he was going to be like... I remember when he says, like, I'm going to shut down LeBron James. He got our asses swept, man. So I actually went on Twitter and I said, like, I said, Stanley, like, why are you 0 for 1 and letting rookies drop triple doubles on you? And it led to this. Not this. Where'd it go? It led to this. I was blocked by Stanley Johnson, man. First career block. Stanley Johnson. I was just like, this dude is soft, man. Like, are you that up in your feelings about it? Like, you can't take some criticism. And really the most annoying part about Stanley, too, not so much Stanley Johnson, it's been mainly Toronto Raptor fans, because, you know, Stanley every now and then has a great game. Every now and then, man. And they're like, Stanley Johnson's not so bad. When you draft a guy as high as Stanley Johnson, he plays like complete ass for 95% of the season. The 5% when he plays good, that still makes him a bust. But because the Raptors and their fans didn't invest the time and draft pick into him, they're like, well, this guy's great. It's like, you would be completely different if you drafted him with that pick, and he did that every once in a while, man. That's the difference right there. So, yes, enough rambling. Let's check out this video about the next Kawhi Leonard, Stanley Johnson.
Versatile two-way wing player with considerable upside.
He went to Arizona State, I believe.
Can score the ball in numerous ways. Bullies his way to the basket.
Yeah, in the Drew League.
And keeps defenders
in the Drew League.
Excellent on-ball defender. He has great athleticism and NBA-ready body.
Just doesn't know how to use it.
And often looks like a man among boys.
Oh boy.
Prior
no pun
to the
intended.
2015 NBA draft, Stanley Johnson was one of the most hyped-up prospects.
Bro, I can't even look at him sometimes, man.
In a class filled with big men and smaller guards, Johnson stood out from the crowd, the best wing player. Standing at 6'6", 240 pounds, he was a beast of a man. A 19-year-old in the body of a seasoned veteran, incredibly strong and sturdy,
yeah, he played one
very
season
quick.
At
Just
Arizona.
From his pure physical stature alone, he was a once-in-a-generation athlete. A lot of analysts and reporters have said before that he had the perfect body. Scout.com ranked him as the third best high schooler in the nation in 2014.
Third best.
A year later, he won.
Emmanuel Mudiay was number 1. You know what?
The best.
Whoever did this, fire them, because they obviously do not see Emmanuel Mudiay number 1. I mean, Cat number 2. That's pretty damn good. And Stanley Johnson number 3.
2014. A year later, he won the Julius Erving Award,
given
to the best small forward in college basketball.
Wow.
The scouts drew comparisons to a Kawhi Leonard Ron Artest hybrid. It seemed like he was on a path to success. From his body to his skills, he had everything.
I'm curious what he says about what the downfall came from.
Why didn't he live up to it? Let's go in depth and take a look at the details. How's it going, folks? My name's Andy, and today it's time we talk about Stanley Johnson.
Well, not to mention too, like, his biggest friend on the team was Andre Drummond. Drummond has zero motor whatsoever, so that's obviously not good work habits. Learn from him. Like maybe if Stanley Johnson would have came into the league with like a mentor that had like a high motor, maybe it would have been different.
And his failure in the NBA. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe. If you like the content, drop a sub or a like, and thank you so much for the support.
If you like my videos, give me some subs from Subway.
Johnson joined a Pistons team that was in the beginning stages of a rebuild. But their roster was kinda whack. They recently moved on from Josh Smith.
Thank God about that.
Failed. By the time Johnson arrived, their team was trying to rebuild, but they had a mishmash of players that had a hard time playing together. Because they had Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Marcus Morris, and
number 3's been
Harris,
cursed since Ben
Stanley
Wallace.
Johnson was forced to come off the bench. It's not like he didn't get the opportunity though. He was the 6th man on the team. Still played.
That's what makes me a little bit afraid about like Scotty Barnes on the Raptors. Like I'm afraid Scotty Barnes is gonna get like left behind, guys like Pascal and OG.
For 23 minutes a game and showed flashes of his defensive prowess.
Look at that field goal percentage.
He didn't really get noticed until the playoffs, but for the wrong reasons. The Pistons rolled in as the 8th seed, facing LeBron and the Cavs. They got swept. While LeBron only averaged about 23 points a game in that series, one of the lowest scoring series,
and called out LeBron.
Still trounced Johnson.
He called out LeBron.
According to ESPN stats, in the first 2 games of the series, LeBron was 7 for 9 from the field with Johnson as the primary defender. That's when Johnson unironically said, "I'm definitely in his head."
Oh my God.
Sure. He kinda got memed to hell after saying that.
Yeah.
However, he did put his money where his mouth was. In the next 2 games, Johnson stepped it up and his defense made a notable impact. The Pistons still lost, but those games were super close.
We would have won all of them.
In the next few seasons, Johnson did not improve much at all. Even after being put in as a starter, he didn't show he was capable of handling it.
The field goal percentage is
ass. He didn't have any major injuries. He didn't have any off-court issues.
I'm just having like flashbacks of him like pulling up on threes and shit, bro. My God. It was, it was always so bad. He had the flattest shot ever.
Holding him back. He just did not develop. There were a lot of problems in his game. For one, his shooting was so abysmal, and was literally the least efficient small forward for multiple seasons when it comes to true shooting percentage. Like, he's not just bad, he's horrendous.
Atrocious.
And through the years, that honestly hasn't
blasphemous.
changed. Over 40% of his total shots are 3-pointers, which I guess it's better than shooting long 2s, but he's still really bad at hitting them. A career 3-point percentage lower than 30%. The sad part is, it hasn't gotten much better since his rookie year. Johnson hovered around the same percentage for a long time. While his inconsistent shooting was something that the scouts believed was a weakness coming in, we believed he could fix it and gradually get better.
Scotty Barnes.
That's what happened with Kawhi. He too came in as a defensive-minded player, but steadily developed into a lethal offensive threat. The problem is, most players do not follow that trend. If somebody has issues on offense, it's more likely that they'll never get better, and they'll always have those issues. Very rarely.
Yeah, like you get like NBA trainers and stuff like that, but at the same time, you are now no longer going up against like high schoolers and college players. You're going up against the cream of the crop, right? So, yeah, I also don't really get that either, where people think like he'll improve his 3-point shot. It's like if he's always been a bitch ass 3-point shooter, that's just who he is at that point.
See a player like Kawhi make such a drastic jump offensively. Another issue was Johnson's ability to drive to the rim and finish. Theoretically, this should be a strong part of his game, considering how strong
athleticism.
He is.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, even coming in, we knew that this was a weak point. It was noted in his original scouting report, despite having the size and strength, he's still terrible at finishing. Career-wise, he hits about 59% of his shots at the rim.
I assume that's really
But
bad.
over the years, it actually got worse.
49%.
That's pretty mediocre for a small forward.
Okay, I didn't know what the
Johnson
actual
doesn't
level
seem
was for that.
skilled enough to find the right angles and doesn't have the finesse or soft touch to put up a good layup or floater.
Just throw shit up
As a
there.
result of these offensive struggles, in every season of his career, his offensive box plus minus has always been in the negatives. And his defensive prowess is not enough to make up for it.
And a guy with that much athleticism, his shot should not be that broken either. Because if you notice, all his shots, he's hitting back rim, which pretty much means you're not having like the leverage or like the arc on the shot. I have an issue with that. But I'm not 6'6", 100 whatever pounds of muscle, man. I'm damn 5'8", 200 billion pounds of freaking Krispy Kremes. So I have an excuse.
So overall, whenever Johnson is on the floor, he makes his team worse. To make matters even worse, his turnover rate is absurd, especially since he barely passes the ball to begin with. His 14.4% career turnover rate is comparable to Russell Westbrook's, who sits at 15.8%.
At least he gets triple
Or
dubs.
James Harden at 15.3%. That's reasonable for Westbrook and Harden because they're always high-impact players who pass the ball
Good
a lot
point.
and attract a ton of attention. The fact that Johnson, who's not a playmaker and defenses don't even pay attention to him, the fact that he still turns it over on 14% of his possessions, that's ridiculous.
Big Tom W here.
So many times, Johnson just fumbles the ball and loses it. He drives to the rim, loses his dribble, and the ball bounces off his leg or something stupid. He has the turnover rate of a superstar, but the production of a bench warmer.
A bench warmer.
The Pistons were very patient with him. They were giving him ample opportunities to show what he can do. Of course, he'd have the occasional decent game, but honestly, he wasn't worth keeping.
Thank you. That needs
Eventually,
to be said.
they gave up on him, traded him away, and then Johnson found his way to Toronto,
where he does the same.
It was a brand new start, and he's still fairly young. He even recorded a career-high 35 points near the end of the 2021 season.
Yeah, them damn Raptor fans were going insane over that. And it's like, that's cool, but that was one game. And he wasn't your top pick
before, but there aren't any signs he'd build on these occasional performances. It was more of a flash in the pan. In Toronto, his main focus was to cut down on mistakes and find a niche on the roster, which he actually did. Instead of trying to force shots and struggle to make plays, Johnson decided he needed to change it up. The Raptors put him primarily at the three-point line,
which is crazy.
Became known as the hustle guy. That's what he's always been good at, hustling on defense, chasing loose balls, crashing the glass, and just bringing those intangibles and doing the dirty work. Prior to the NBA, his relentless energy was a major part of his game, and now he finally embraced it. During his time in Toronto, Nick Nurse noticed Johnson's work ethic.
Here we know PT next
He's tough
season.
on the glass. He fights down there against some bigger bodies because he's pretty strong himself. I'm happy. Stan's played a great role off the bench for us lately. It's good to see. However, when it comes to his mentality, it's kind of different, I guess. When Johnson was asked by a reporter if he was trying to work his way up the league or trying to get more minutes in the rotation, he replied with this. I don't want to show I can do more. I'm a professional athlete. I play for money.
Oh boy.
If I'm not playing good enough...
Yeah. Him and I, totally different wavelengths here, man. What do you mean you're a professional? You play for money, bro? No, you play for the love of what you're doing and you make money along the way, which is obviously nice. But that's what, anytime you want to start up anything in life, anything, if you are doing it solely for the money or to start off with the money, you've lost. You've lost.
That's probably why I wasn't playing. So for me, I'm not really into anything spectacular. I'm just going in every day, working extremely hard, and letting my work do the talking.
It's talking, I guess.
At this stage of his career, it looks like he no longer hopes to become a star. It's rare to see young players say things like this, that he doesn't want to show he can do more, but prefers to play within his own role. It worked out well in Toronto, as he seemed way more comfortable compared to his days in Detroit. You don't need to go above and beyond, as long as you're productive and comfortable with what you're doing. That's all that matters. That's what Johnson is trying to accomplish. Not everyone has that killer mentality to become the greatest. As for the comparison with Kawhi or Ron Artest, well, one thing they have in common is that they're all physically built. Defensively,
They are all
Stanley
in the
is a
NBA.
stud.
The
Over
comparison
years,
goes
he
there.
spent many games guarding the opposing team's best players,
Like
from
LeBron.
point guard to power forward. Stanley is quick and strong, can keep up with the best of them, but that's about the extent of this comparison. While both Artest and Kawhi made drastic improvements on offense, Johnson's playmaking and shooting is still
Artest had that
almost
three ball for a bit.
non-existent, and his progress in those areas has been shaky at best. I mean, he's not even a starting caliber player. His minutes range somewhere between a bench warmer and a fringe rotation player. Now and then, we see flashes that make us look in awe. But that's all they are, flashes.
You play long
For all
enough,
we
you
know,
do something
this
nice.
could be the player he's always going to be. It seems like he's content with that.
I know a lot of you guys want to see Stanley Johnson become
Thank
like
you
most
all
improved
so much
player.
for watching.
Just
I
get my
hope y'all
reaction.
enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts on Stanley Johnson.
Oh, you guys know my thoughts on Stanley Johnson. That's the end of this, man. Very good video by Andy Hoops. Really summed things up here. And yeah, I could not put into better words the way he kind of summarized this up. So fantastic video, guys. Check out his channel. Link in the description below. That's all we got. Thank you all so much for watching. And peace out, my friends.